We're digging into the dot cells technique in Excel VBA, and in the second video we're going to look at the third critical idea, which is taking values from the spreadsheet to define the range we're looking at using dot cells. What on earth does that mean? Let's get stuck into the file, let's find out. So we're moving on to the second sheet in the file, and the name of the sheet is from cell single. You can see we've got a slightly different setup here. We've got the highlighted area, we still want to pay attention to that. Then we've got two cells here, so cells E8 and E9. We're going to use these cells to put values in. What are those values going to do? Well, going back to the Visual Basic Editor, where's it gone? There's a Visual Basic Editor. We want to use these values in these critical row index and column index components here. Use these values to control the selection. Now, this means that rather than having values in the VBA editor, which we might call hard-coded values, they're hard-coded values because they're difficult to change. Rather than having that set up, we can change cells in the spreadsheet to interact with dot cells to do a different kind of selection. Don't worry if that doesn't make sense. We're going to demonstrate it right now. So we've got our basic idea here, and I'm happy with the anchor point. We're going to leave that for the time being. This component we want to change. So rather than having a hard-coded value there, I'm going to use the cell reference for the cell that contains the value that we want to bring in. So we've got E8 here. So I'm going to say range E8. Okay, there we go. And let's just use a single reference for the time being. So what's going to happen now? Well, we're going to start at B8 and then the value in E8, which is 1. So because we're using cells, we won't be moving anywhere. And then we've got 2. So 2 is our column index. So we're going to move one column along. So I'm expecting C11 to be selected. I'm going to hit the F5 key on the Windows PC, play the code, and we can see that C8 is selected. Didn't quite get it right. Am I really upset about that? No, it happens all the time with code. Certainly does in me. Often get things wrong. It's part of learning. We can see that the anchor point is not quite right because this sheet has a few more rows. Let's take the anchor point down to B11. So I know the anchor point is now here, and we're going to go 0 rows down because we've got a 1 here, and then we're going to go to the second column across. So we're going to end up in C11 this time. Okay, and we're in C11. So this seems to be working. I'm going to change the value here. Let's change it to 3. So what do you think is going to happen now? We're going to start at B11. B11 will be row 1. B12 would be row 2. And row 3 would be B13, and then we're going to go to the second column across. So I think we're going to end up in C13 here. Just hit the F5 key. Yep, we've ended up in C13. So it seems to be working with one cell. We're putting the value in the cell to control the row index there. So what about the column index 2? So let's say range, now we're in E9 for the column index. And I'm going to need another bracket at the end there. Okay, that seems to make sense. So let's try 4 here. Let's give ourselves a challenge. Now I think we're going to end up in cell E11 here. That's because we're starting in B11. That's our anchor cell. And then the row index, well, it's whatever's in cell E8. In cell E8 we have 3. So that's going to take us to row 13. And then whatever's in cell E9. In cell E9 we have 4. So 1 is going to be B, 2 is going to be C, 3 is going to be D, and 4 is going to be E. So I think we're going to end up in E13. Make sure that cell isn't selected before I play the code. And I'm playing the code now, and you can see we've ended up in E13. What if I wanted to end up, let's say, in cell D11? Well, cell D11 is going to be, well, it's the first row relative to our anchor points. And D11 is the third column relative to our anchor points. Yep, just make sure I've got the right cell selected, putting a 3 in here. So I'm expecting cell D11 to be selected now, hitting the F5 key, and cell D11 is selected. So it's absolutely critical when you're learning these techniques for the first time that you take your time to play. You know, you saw me get it wrong at the beginning of the video. As I said, that's part of learning Excel VBA. getting things wrong. Try some different values in these cells. Try to guess what value is going to appear in the cell. Do you get it right? Do you get it wrong? Over time, you're going to get more and more right. So this is the second video in the dot cell series. So what have we looked at so far in this series? Simple cell selection using the row index and the column index to select a cell. We've looked at the role of the anchor point. We've said that 1, 1 is going to just leave us at the anchor point, and values in excess of 1 are going to take us away from that anchor point. And then we've looked at getting values from the spreadsheet in this video. Getting values from the spreadsheet is much more interesting because rather than typing values into VBA, we can use values in the spreadsheet. The user might type those in themselves, or we might use formulae, for example, a counting formula like count A. We might use a formula, take a value from a formula and use those values with dot cells. Then you have the beauty of worksheet formulae working together with powerful VBA constructs to create, well, we could call it poetry in motion, something like that. I would call it something super powerful. I'll see you in the next video.